How are we doing, guys? Always to be Leeds versus Derby, playoff semi-final, second leg. So we have a little advantage, don't we, when you go into this second leg, but it's only a slight advantage. Let's be honest. One goal, and that could change in seconds. If we're being honest, in the first leg, I thought it was almost a textbook away playoff performance. For other than sort of the last 30 minutes, I thought we got a little bit sloppy, but defensively we were absolutely exceptional. It's one of the best defensive performances I think I've seen all season. Probably the best, actually, to be honest, in terms of how the whole defence works as a unit. We've restricted one of the best attacking sides in the league, with some quality individuals going forward to no shots on target, and we have to take a lot of praise for that. Berardi, Cooper, as I said, absolutely sensational. So we have to take a lot of positives from that. But Derby are more than capable as well. Beating Norwich away 4-3, beating West Brom away 4-1, beating Bristol City away 2-0. They are well capable of turning this tie around. And they did show for sort of the last 30 minutes that they could dominate a game as well, as much as we can. We have Tyler Roberts missing, we have Kemal Roof missing. And maybe that does massively affect us. I think, obviously, I do feel Kemal Roof does suit this system better than Patrick Bamford, but Patrick Bamford is not a bad replacement. Look, his goal record is absolutely fine. I think it's 18 in his last 16 starts. You can't make any arguments against that. It's just his all-round influence in the team, which I think is my slight concern. I don't think he works as hard off the ball, or I don't think he really holds the ball up as well. Positionally, I do think Kemal Roof is that bit more of a threat. He makes a good box-to-box runs. He knows what he's doing. Making those late runs into the box, like the first goal, the winner, even in the semi-final. Kemal Roof makes those type of runs. I don't think Patrick Bamford does that as much. He tries to sort of drop back a bit more and try and dictate the game a bit more as well. More of a number 10, false 9 kind of player for me. I just don't think that works quite as well in this system, but Patrick Bamford is more than capable of getting a goal in this game, or goals in this game. You have to back him. For me, you have to back him. Of course, he has missed chances, but he's scored some quality goals for us. He's got a good goal scoring record. You can't argue with that for me. So I'm not too concerned by that sort of factor. I think Tyler Roberts is a concern though. I think we're asking a lot of Jamie Shackleton, but I'm sure Jamie Shackleton will produce another energetic performance. That is what he really brought to that Derby game, energy. I just felt for the last 30, we kind of got overrun a little bit. I think Click, Pablo just sort of lost that little bit of spark. In terms of energy, I thought they were fine performance-wise. I just felt off the ball, they didn't quite have that same sort of intensity for the last 20-25 minutes. But at the end of the day, they play pretty much every game this season, so that is to be expected. So we do need those options off the bench. Unfortunately, we haven't got them for this game. Hopefully, in the final, we might have a couple available in that lot. We have got Izzy Brown, but does Marcelo Bielsa trust Izzy Brown? Jack Clark made good impacts for me against Derby, a real sensible performance, but there's a lack of options on the bench. We have to admit that. Can we overcome that? I still think we can. I think the starting 11 has got quality to it, it has got balance to it. It's just we're very reliant on that starting 11 for me, and it's not anyone's fault this, it's just a bad luck with injuries. Of course, you could say we should have bought 2 or 3 more bodies in January to sort of give us that bit more stability. If we do get injuries, we can just easily rotate things, but at the same time, if we had no injuries, there would have been complaints that we overstacked the squad. So for me, I think it's a bit of bad luck. I think Marcelo Bielsa works how Marcelo Bielsa works. He wants a tight-knit group. He doesn't want more than 22 players in his squad, and that's fair enough. That is how he's got us to this point, managing us that way, and you have to trust Marcelo Bielsa with that. I think he has factored that in, that injuries can happen, but I think we have had exceptionally bad luck on that front. But for me, we have to pay attention to the way Derby finished the game. Derby finished the game very strongly, and I don't think we can rely on the defence producing another unbelievable performance like that. Another big source of contention is positive chance or Gaetano Berardi alongside Liam Cooper. For me, I'm very much in the keep Berardi in the starting 11s, sort of side of the argument. I think when you look at Berardi's performance against Derby and how the defensive unit works, in comparison to Ipswich and Pontus-Jansson's performance at Ipswich, you have to go Berardi all day long. At the end of the day, Pontus-Jansson is the more talented of the two. Gaetano Berardi would admit that himself. I think anyone in the squad would say that. I think any Leeds fan would say that Pontus-Jansson is the more talented of the two defenders. But it's about how it works as a unit. We can't be looking too much into that. It has to be how it works as a unit. At the end of the day, Berardi, Cooper started the season for us, and we kept a lot of clean sheets at the start of the season. We looked solid at the back at the start of the season. We were dominating games at the start of the season like that. And I don't think anyone in this squad has a God-given right to get in this team. Absolutely not. Other than maybe Pablo Hernandez, I don't think anyone has that right to just walk into this team. And Pontus Jansson, unfortunately, as good as he has been all season, has had a bad last couple of weeks. For me, it has to be Gaetano Berardi. It has to be what makes this team tick. I think for me, Berardi and Cooper are absolutely perfect on Saturday. I thought it was two easily 9, 10 out of 10 performances for me. I thought they were both absolutely sensational, as was the rest of the back four. You have to keep Stuart Downs at left back for me as well. Easily his best performance for me from left back, both going forward and defensively. I thought it was absolutely solid. So we have to keep that balance. We have to keep that belief in this back four. I do see the case of bringing in Pontus Jansson. Don't get me wrong. If Martin Waghorn's fit, maybe Pontus Jansson is someone you want there defending against him. But for me, you have to keep the faith in the defences, which is to deliver the top class performance. And for me, the balance is better with Berardi than Jansson at the moment. I think for the simple fact that I think with Berardi just has that little bit more positional sense. I think something me and Conor said a lot about during the game on Saturday. I think, of course, Jansson is probably the more better ball winner of any of our defenders. We have to admit that. But I just think BERRA is just absolutely spot on with everything he does at the minute from centre back. I think he has been all season. I think a lot of people forget how good BERRA was at the start of the season. For me, he was man of the match in probably 3 or 4 of our first sort of 7-8 games of the season. He was absolutely sensational in that position. As was Liam Cooper. Look, there's no debate. Liam Cooper's going to keep his space, but it's very much a debate of who plays on the right side of that back two. And for me, I always go Berardi all day long. I just think positionally, I think in terms of how he works with Cooper, how he works with the rest of the back four, and the other key thing as well is that the way we attack, we're very much sort of a back two when we attack. The 2 fullbacks will push on. Certainly, Luke Ayling is going to be pushing on. I think 6 assists in his last 10 games. He will be looking to create, and you need someone who's comfortable defending in those wide areas. And for me, BERRA's that man. BERRA is a right back at the end of the day by trade. He can cover Luke Ayling. I think that sort of really sells BERRA ahead of Jansson in this particular game as well, because we are going to have to defend those wide areas a lot, especially with the way the fullbacks push up. It's going to be Tom Lawrence cutting inside. We need someone who's comfortable going out wide with Tom Lawrence, and for me, that is Gaetano Berardi. Left back and left-sided defender is less of a problem because Stuart Dallas is naturally going to attack less than Luke Ayling being an inverted fullback, so it's not a problem for me having Liam Cooper in that position. I just think for the whole balance of things, I feel it introduces more of a Berardi kind of game. Maybe it's different against Villa, or Villa or West Brom. That's terrible off me. That's assuming Villa get to the final. I don't mean that at all. It's Villa or West Brom in the final. Maybe that is the case. That's even if we get there. Just remember, there's still a long way to go here. A long way to go. We have to respect Derby. Derby dominated those last 30 minutes. Derby have got a threat. Going forward, they've got better options off the bench from us at the minute, purely because of injuries. They have got more impact players. The players who came on made a big impact for Derby. So, for me, this tie is far from over. I think tactically, Derby have got to come at us. A lot more than they did in sort of the first leg. For the home team, I thought the first sort of first half, etc., was pretty disappointing from Derby. I think if it was a Derby fan, would be disappointed with the way they started the game. I think it was a case of Frank Lampard probably showing a bit more respect to Leeds, after the 2 league games, being a little bit more pragmatic. But for me, I would guess Derby are probably going to try and attack us from the off. I think they're going to very much go on the front foot, try and get that early goal, try and unsettle the crowd, because that's one of the things you do if you're an away team. I think going to Elland Road like this, you try and quiet that crowd as quickly as possible. They can't afford to go defensive. They've just got to go for that early goal. I think the goodness is going to be very much that front three. It's just going to be pushed up and trying to expose the spaces when we push forward on the counter attacks and that lot. I certainly expect a more front foot Derby, like the way they finished the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a couple of changes. Potentially Mason Bennett starts the game. Potentially Jack Marriott, Martin Waghorn start the game. I can't see David Nugent starting again because he was pretty ineffective against us. It's probably it's unlikely for me that David Nugent starts the game. I spoke to a lot of Derby fans after the game. They were surprised David Nugent started the game. I don't think he's started many games from at all this season. They thought it was Jack Marriott all the way. I thought Jack Marriott probably did get a little bit more joy, but still, I thought Berardi and Cooper had good control on him. So it's an interesting one, guys. I think we've still got to set up the way we have done all season. Shackles and Click, just having that energy, just trying to dictate the game. Patrick Bamford, for me, the important thing is he's got runners beyond him. Shackleton and Click are willing to run beyond him. Pablo, Harrison willing to run beyond them as well. You know, and I think Bamford's movement is going to be very key. You know, if it's the kind of game where Bamford can get that early goal potentially, I think it totally changes the whole state of the game. You know, I think an early goal for us would change things a little bit. It won't guarantee anything, but it would, I think, settle down the crowd a little bit. But for me, I'm expecting a really, really tough game. I mean, honestly, I think Derby are going to play better, certainly better than they did for the first 60 minutes in the first leg. And we've got to improve on that last 30 minutes. Let's be honest, we were sloppy in that last 30 minutes. You know, of course, the penalty wasn't a penalty, but you know, on another day, the assistant referee, even though it was the right decision, the assistant referee might not be that brave to sort of question the referee's authority. So, you know, we've still got a long way to go here. A long way to go. You know, but it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. West Brom Villa's about to start, and that's still very much in the balance. I don't know why I said Villa first there. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen in that tie. I still think that's far from over. So it's an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting couple of days. See who gets to the final. Hopefully it's ourselves. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed this preview. It's been a bit of a rushed one. Hopefully it's not the last one of the season. Let's just hope that it's not the last one of the season. It's the penultimate one of the season, let's hope. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And make sure you check out Joe and Conor's previews of the game as well. They were uploaded earlier on in the day as well. We'll see you later, guys. Make sure you check out our reviews of the game as well. See you later, guys.